Les amis, comme promis, je vous ai fait la traduction de la dernière vidéo de Taps Trades, une référence de la ECOMI femme qui nous donne la roadmap du projet ECOMI et des événements à venir et bien entendu sa prédiction de prix pour 2021.
Hey everyone, my name is Taps, and you've all been asking me for an updated price prediction roadmap on ECOMI and Veve's OMI token. So I've taken a lot of time to really look at what we know is all coming, to lay out rough timelines, what the main catalysts are going to be, different scenarios, and ultimately what price I believe the OMI token will be end of year, as well as what it will look like come the year 2025. As always, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the community and feel free to subscribe. I'm a crypto stock and real estate investor, but never a financial advisor. All right, so I'm going to primarily speak about the OMI token, but Veve as a company and the collectibles have been on an absolute rampage. They have been crushing everything they do. Every single drop now sells out in seconds. The user base, which was only a couple thousand back in February, is now somewhere around 600 to 700,000 users, not even a year later. And you can feel it. I mean, I'm striking out on some drops now because there's just so many people participating. Well, I have bad news. It's only going to get harder. More eyes are going to be shifting to Veve once Immutable is complete. We're able to mint these NFTs, able to cash out with MTL, a money transfer license, and when they start inevitably expanding to the larger audience base, which we know is like the APAC region and many more. Almost every single drop you can then participate in, nab one, and then sell for an immediate gain. I mean, look at the common Labbit. It was animated from $25. It's now selling somewhere around $500 the floor. It was over a 2,000% gain the same day. So while we're focused on our OMI and like what that investment is worth, it really makes sense to play both Veve collectibles and the OMI token, which I do. And shout out to Cavell Anderson for actually showing this Veve Vault value estimator that is in ECOMI Wiki. I've showed ECOMI Wiki's marketplace floors side quite a bit, but I did not know this was something until Cavell showed this on Twitter. So really cool tool where you can actually go ahead and click and add the number of collectibles that you have, how many you have from that side, and then it go ahead and estimates at the current value. This shows that I've roughly invested, it says around $5,500, but I know that I've scoped some stuff off of the floor for higher amount. So I'm probably about $7,000 to maybe $7,500 invested so far into the Veve collectibles, and my current vault value at today's prices is around $41,000. And in the big spectrum of things, I don't have the best luck. I don't actually secure, all the ultra rares. I've never actually secured a secret rare on a single drop. I've only gotten a handful of actual ultra rares. But I did complete a lot more sets when the prices dropped back in August. But it's really cool to see a 5x in less than a year on the collectibles that I can't even mint yet. That is better than any 401k that you've ever seen, and stronger than a lot of different stocks and other things just through the collectible side. And we know these things are going to be worth that much more once we can mint them and we have the ability to use them in the Veveverse. People are finally getting it. Bigger whales are jumping in and the prices are going absolutely ballistic, and they're going to continue to, but OMI hasn't caught up yet. Veve has shown that it is incredibly successful, but OMI is still greatly undervalued. And that's because the full utility, or just even basic utility, hasn't really been granted yet. It's still incredibly limited in how you can invest in it on exchanges. And OMI is about to, but hasn't yet, made its jump to Immutable X, which was announced back in May. So many are waiting to actually see, like, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? And it's right, it's happening. But again, many have also forgotten about it since that initial announcement. But the world is starting to realize that Immutable is an incredible layer 2 Ethereum solution, and its ecosystem is building out pretty impressively with some solid projects on it, including ECOMI and Veve. And there's about to be a lot more eyes on the name Immutable, which will also benefit all of the projects that are being built as the OG projects on the Immutable ecosystem. As you can see, TikTok just announced they're going to be selling creator-led NFTs from Bella Poarch, huge name in social media, Lil Nas, who is big name in the music world. He's made tons of hits. Gary Vee, we all know who Gary Vee is. Grimes is very outspoken in the NFT world. RTFKT, Artifact, is also very well known in the NFT world and a project on Immutable X. This is coming on this 6th, which is in 3 days. So it's about to be a lot more eyes on Immutable X and again, all the projects associated. Veve. On to OMI, which we can see is already starting to shoot up. Let's get right into the price prediction and why. So I have updated this, and this is scenario 1 of 2. This is speculative, just my analysis and what I personally believe will happen. And of course, these are my assumptions that kind of line up with things that Veve and ECOMI have said on the timelines of when these things will happen, but they could bleed into other months based on what kind of priorities they have, which we've seen with ECOMI's ETA and other crypto projects many times before. For the most part, the price prediction is pretty similar, if not the exact same from what I did back in May, but the timelines have shifted because many of the things that we had thought were going to happen over those couple months in summer didn't happen, but are about to happen. And we fell into a very bearish lag run that was very unexpected to the crypto world. And so that pushed out the timelines by a couple months. In that time, we actually fell down to 0.0014. So if you invested at that time, then your investment is up 400%, and we're just getting started. It has around 200% to reclaim its all-time high, and the price doubled in September alone. And so let's start there. We can see in September what happened, what caused it to go from 0.003 to 0.006. You can see that the comics and collectibles absolutely mooned. It attracted more users. Awareness picked up where ECOMI was being mentioned by Altcoin Daily and Tom Bilyeu, which I had an interview with him. Cryptos R Us talking about them. Crypto Rain is continuing to talk about them. More and more attention is coming back to ECOMI and Veve. It's feeling more like March again, but there's a lot more built out since that time frame. The crypto bull run re-engaged, and Immutable X MTL and Veveverse dates have been clarified. Up until that point, they were always talked about, but there was no real solidity to them because, again, it was like, oh, it's coming. But now we know Immutable X is here, about to happen. MTL is finalizing, and Veveverse we know is sometime in 2022, and they're aiming for Q1. So it's all finally about to happen. So with that in mind, end of October, I believe we'll be at 0.018. So we will not only reclaim our all-time high, but go past it with a 300% gain in the next month. And again, these could bleed, like a week or two over, but October is going to be nuts. And that's because we have Immutable X. It'll go in different phases, but the full migration will be going through this month. We have MTL, assuming they're going to finally move forward. They're supposed to have that happen in September, but they did say, there could be a little bit of bleed over into October. We have New York Comic-Con. So again, more comic exclusive drops, more attention, more users. Master Collector Program has been spoken about. We've gotten a lot more color around it, but the Medium article is going to be coming out, and that is also more solidity. Showroom version 2. Season 3 starts. So again, season 2 caps. And we'll probably see some spooky new licenses. I'm thinking maybe like Halloween or Jason or something like even tied to, like I showed the CLC, Creative Licensing Corp's license has some ties back to those. And I believe we'll see something like that. As well as they spoke about how we had 4 or 5 different exchanges coming and we only saw 2 of those, which means that there are at least 2 other exchanges that are originally in mind back in July or June that we have not yet seen because we know that they're waiting for Immutable X to announce compatible exchanges. So I believe we'll see at least 1 or 2 of those exchanges. And I'm wondering if we'll have some kind of big announcement around their anniversary, which I believe is October 15th. October is super bullish. And then until the end of November, we have more exchanges. I think we'll see a large exchange then. Hopefully that's when we'll actually see Master Collector Program start to actually be used and hopefully some form of staking with the OMI token. We have Designer Con, which I will be at, and I know some of the other homies will be there as well. Marketing. We're still waiting on marketing. We're still waiting on larger artists and license drops as well, because I think what's going to happen, and this is again me speculating, but I think one large large licensor, every season will probably be announced. Maybe it'll go into 2 eventually once there's more and more. The first season was the first season, right? So there was a lot of large licensors that were announced, and then there was some that were actually implemented. But then season 2, Marvel obviously, right? But Marvel I don't think is their number 1. Season 3, maybe we'll eventually see something like Disney or Star Wars. And I think further down the line when we can actually handle the bandwidth, Pokemon will be king. But I think in November we'll have like a larger artist mention. I'm hoping for like Cause. And I think maybe then we'll start to see some of the licensors that have been announced that I've been waiting for, like Jurassic Park or hopefully Capcom. Sometime in November, we will hit that threshold of 1 million users that they were targeting for the end of the year. From 0.018 to 0.032, be an 80% gain. Running until December, I believe then we'll start to see localization come into play, which means sense for the anime vertical, which means they'll be targeting APAC, and hopefully we'll get some color around OMI to NFT. Again, adding more utility to the OMI token besides just the staking, and there'll be all that build up leading to the Veveverse for the next year. And so this red line represents what I believe will be inevitably the bear cycle. And so I do think we'll hit it sometime in December. So I believe that we'll probably sit around 6 cents for the year 2021. And then what'll happen is we'll go into a bear cycle and it'll be longer. But if it does manage to actually go into 2021 and we're able to see the first phase of the Veveverse at the end of the quarter, then it's just going to keep scaling up, and at least 15 cents would make sense for this upside run. And again, the constants: burning tokens, signing a new license, celebrity influencer adoption, app usability, like these things are always constants. Now, of all these things, you'll see highlighted Immutable X, MTL, 2 exchanges, large exchange, master collector program, staking. Like, I think these are the biggest things that are going to help the OMI token because, again, it gives more utility, it gives more access. So we need Immutable X to go through and have that done. We need the ability to cash out just to help, again, continue to grow Veve, which grows OMI, and the exchanges.
C'est passionnant d'être investi dans ce projet. Ça, c'était la première partie de sa vidéo dans laquelle il nous donne son scénario bullish. Dans la deuxième partie de la vidéo, il nous présente un scénario plus conservateur avec des facteurs macro et microéconomiques qui pourraient impacter la croissance du projet. Dites-moi dans les commentaires si vous voulez que je fasse cette vidéo. Si tu as aimé cette vidéo, explose les likes, abonne-toi à la chaîne si tu es nouveau, clique sur la cloche pour rester informé sur les dernières news. Et sur ce, on se retrouve pour une prochaine vidéo.